In the vast reaches of space, there was a planet far from the center of galactic civilization, a little blue world called Earth. The stars above it gleamed with the promise of other worlds, many of them home to advanced, powerful species. These species had seen the rise and fall of empires, the birth and death of countless civilizations. And to them, Earth was nothing more than a quiet, insignificant corner of the universe. Humanity, on the other hand, was full of hope. Earth's people had reached out to the stars with dreams of making contact with other civilizations. They had sent probes into the farthest reaches of space, built telescopes to peer into the unknown, and even made their first steps beyond their own moon. They were proud of their accomplishments, but to the other races of the galaxy, those steps were mere baby steps. In the grand scheme of things, humans were nothing. When Earth made its first official attempt at joining the Galactic Council, the most powerful governing body in the universe, it was met with little more than polite laughter. Earth had been observing the galaxy's activities for some time, trying to make its mark. But their technology was laughable compared to the wonders of the star systems surrounding them. The Council representatives, a mix of aliens with advanced technologies and millennia of experience, couldn't help but mock Earth's attempts at diplomacy. One such representative, a tall alien from the planet Silara, watched with amusement as a human envoy stepped forward. The human, Ambassador Thomas Carter, stood with his chest out, trying his best to make a strong first impression. But he was nervous, and it showed. He held up a device, the best Earth had to offer, a communication tool that, though impressive for a species just beginning to explore space, was nothing compared to the technology of the Council. The Acceleran raised an eyebrow, his blue skin shimmering in the light of the conference hall, and let out a short, mocking laugh. "Is this all you have?" The Acceleran asked, his voice dripping with condescension. "A primitive device made of metal and wires. We've had better communication systems before your species even learned to write." The room filled with quiet chuckles from the other representatives. A few exchanged looks of disbelief, while others rolled their eyes. The humans had hoped that this meeting would prove their worth, that they could finally join the galactic stage. But instead, they were being laughed at. Ambassador Carter's face turned red, but he didn't let it show. He cleared his throat and tried to continue. "We might not have the technology of the more advanced species," he said, his voice steady but strained, "but we have something that no one else does. We have creativity. We have the drive to learn and grow, to solve problems and push forward. And we believe that we have something to offer the galaxy." The Acceleran smiled, his sharp teeth glinting in the light. "Creativity," he repeated with a grin. "Yes, I've heard that before. But creativity doesn't solve the real problems, does it? It won't protect your planet when the real threats come. And trust me, Earth won't be ready for what's out there." The room quieted as the other representatives looked on. Some of them were less vocal but equally skeptical. The humans had no real power, no fleet of ships to defend their world, no weapons that could stand up to the might of the galactic empires. In their eyes, Earth was a cute little species that hadn't even begun to understand the dangers of the universe. And so, with a few more sarcastic remarks and dismissive gestures, the meeting ended. Ambassador Carter left the council chamber feeling defeated. Earth had come so far, yet it was clear that they were still nothing more than a footnote in the history of the galaxy. As he returned to his ship, he couldn't shake the feeling of shame. He had hoped that the galaxy would see Earth for what it truly was, a species with potential, a species that could be more than just a curiosity. But that dream had been crushed in just a few short hours. Back on Earth, the news of the Council's decision spread quickly. People were disappointed, but not surprised. They had expected to be treated like outsiders. The galaxy had no interest in Earth, no interest in their hopes or dreams. It was just a tiny, insignificant planet, one among many. But there was one person on Earth who refused to accept this. One person who believed that Earth was not just a speck in the universe. One person who believed that humanity could be something greater. Her name was Nina Wheeler, and she was only 12 years old. While the adults of Earth were busy dealing with politics and diplomacy, Nina had spent her life looking up at the stars, dreaming of what could be. She wasn't concerned with the failed meeting or the mocking laughter of the council. No, Nina had bigger dreams. She didn't see Earth as weak or insignificant. She saw it as a place full of untapped potential. And she had a plan, one that would change everything. Nina Wheeler was not like other children. While most kids her age spent their time playing video games or riding bikes, Nina's world was filled with machines, computers, and stars. She had always been different, even as a little girl. She wasn't interested in the usual toys or activities that kids enjoyed. Instead, she loved spending hours in her room, drawing designs for futuristic spaceships, studying the science books her father had brought home, and solving complex puzzles that left most adults scratching their heads. Nina's room was a chaotic mess of blueprints, circuit boards, and half-finished models of spacecraft. She didn't mind the clutter. Every bit of it was part of her dream. She had big plans, and while the rest of the world may have seen her as just a bright child with a big imagination, Nina knew that what she was working on would change everything. Her dream wasn't just to explore space. It was to make humanity a force to be reckoned with in the galaxy. At school, Nina's teachers had long given up trying to keep up with her. Her mind worked in ways that no one could truly understand. She would finish her homework in minutes, then spend the rest of the class asking questions that no one could answer. Her science teacher, Mr. Carlson, often found himself staring in disbelief at her answers, unable to comprehend how a 12-year-old could understand quantum mechanics and the intricacies of alien technology. But Nina wasn't just interested in understanding the technology of others. She wanted to build something of her own, something that could prove Earth's worth to the galaxy. She had watched the Council mock her planet, laugh at its efforts, and dismiss Earth as insignificant. It made her angry. No one believed in Earth's potential, but Nina refused to accept that. She knew that humanity had something no one else did: creativity, adaptability, and the drive to overcome any obstacle. One day, after hearing about the failed meeting with the Galactic Council, Nina's anger boiled over. She was tired of hearing the grown-ups talk about how Earth wasn't ready for the galaxy. She was tired of hearing about how humans were weak, naive, and too small to compete with the other races. That night, Nina stayed up late, her mind racing with ideas. She sketched furiously, her pencil flying across the paper as she jotted down blueprints for something incredible: a warship, but not just any warship. This would be a ship unlike anything the galaxy had ever seen. It wasn't just about weapons. Nina's design incorporated things that other civilizations hadn't even thought of, things that Earth could do better than anyone else. She included an AI system that would allow the ship to learn and adapt in real time, a powerful engine that could harness the energy of stars, and advanced shields that could protect the ship from the most powerful attacks. But perhaps most importantly, she designed a ship to be piloted by a human, because Nina believed that no machine could ever replace the human touch. She knew that the heart, the creativity, and the unpredictability of a human mind were essential to making her creation truly powerful. The next morning, Nina's parents found her in the living room, surrounded by sketches and notes. "Nina, what is all this?" her father asked, eyeing the pile of papers with curiosity. "It's my idea," Nina said, her eyes shining with excitement. "I'm going to build a ship that can protect Earth and show the galaxy that we're not weak. We can do this." Her father, though supportive, raised an eyebrow. "A ship? How are you going to build something like that? You're just a kid." Nina stood up, her expression serious. "I may be young, but I'm not stupid. I know how to do this. I've been studying everything I can about alien technology. I can build something no one expects, something that will make Earth strong." Her parents exchanged glances. They didn't know much about space travel or advanced technology, but they knew their daughter was special. There was a spark in her that couldn't be ignored. "Okay, Nina," her mother said gently. If you're serious about this, you'll need help, and you'll need access to resources we don't have." Nina smiled. "I know. That's why I'm going to talk to the government." It seemed like a crazy idea, but Nina wasn't afraid of crazy ideas. She had seen how the galaxy treated Earth, and she was determined to change that. She was going to prove that humans had something that no alien race could match: pure, unrelenting willpower. With the help of her parents, Nina reached out to a few key people in Earth's scientific community. Her reputation as a genius was already beginning to spread, and when she presented her idea for a revolutionary warship, the response was far different from the mocking tone of the Galactic Council. At first, many were skeptical. After all, who could believe that a 12-year-old could design a warship capable of standing up to the galaxy's most advanced fleets? But as Nina explained her vision in greater detail, the experts began to listen. What she had in mind wasn't just a weapon. It was a new way of thinking, a new kind of technology that no one had ever seen before. Earth's best scientists and engineers soon rallied behind her, and the project began in secret. Nina Wheeler, the child who had once been laughed at, was now the heart of a revolution. She wasn't just designing a ship. She was about to change the future of humanity. The idea that a child could change the fate of an entire planet was considered nothing more than a fantasy by most people on Earth. However, Nina Wheeler was different. She had a vision, one that seemed impossible to many, but to her, it was the only way forward. She wasn't going to let the galaxy laugh at humanity anymore. She was going to build something that would make them take Earth seriously. Nina's plan was simple, yet extraordinary. She would design a warship, a ship so powerful that no alien force, no matter how advanced, would be able to dismiss it. And she wasn't going to do this alone. She needed the help of the best minds on Earth. After gaining support from a small group of influential scientists and engineers, Nina and her team set up a secret project. The work would take place in a remote facility hidden deep within the Earth's atmosphere, far from the prying eyes of the Galactic Council. Nina's first step was to gather all the knowledge she could. She spent hours every day studying alien technologies recovered from abandoned ships and wreckage. She pored over data from Earth's most advanced satellites, looking for clues, for patterns that might help her make her dream a reality. It was hard work, but Nina never grew tired. Every breakthrough, no matter how small, filled her with excitement. She was learning things that had once seemed impossible to understand, and every new piece of knowledge brought her closer to her goal. The design for the warship was a complex puzzle. Nina wanted it to be something different, something no one had ever seen before. She knew that Earth's greatest strength wasn't its technology alone. It was humanity's creativity, adaptability, and resilience. These were the qualities that would set Earth's warship apart. The ship needed to be both a weapon and a symbol of human strength. Working tirelessly, Nina and her team began to shape the blueprint for the Genesis, as Nina had named it. The ship would be built with the most advanced technology Earth had to offer, as well as a few unique innovations of Nina's own design. Unlike other warships, which were designed with a rigid, unchanging structure, the Genesis would be able to adapt and learn from its environment. Nina believed that in order to succeed, the ship needed to think on its own. It had to be more than just a machine. It had to have the flexibility to respond to new challenges, the same way humans did. The heart of the ship's design was its AI system. Nina was convinced that the ship's intelligence had to be as fluid and creative as the human mind. This was no ordinary AI. It was a learning, evolving system that could process information in real time, adjusting its strategies as needed. The ship would constantly adapt, never stuck in the same old tactics. It would be like a living, breathing entity, ready to outsmart even the most advanced alien technologies. But building such an AI was no small feat. Nina worked day and night with a team of top computer scientists, coding and testing the system. The AI would be connected directly to the ship's core, allowing it to control everything from the ship's engines to its weapon systems. But there was one key detail that set Nina's design apart from others. The ship's AI would not function without a human at the helm. Nina believed that the heart and soul of the Genesis needed to come from a human mind. No matter how advanced technology became, nothing could replace the unpredictability and creativity of a human pilot. As the project continued, Nina's team began to assemble the parts for the ship. Each component was carefully crafted, using the most advanced materials and technology available. The ship's hull was reinforced with a special metal alloy, capable of withstanding the most powerful blasts from alien weapons. Its engines were designed to harness energy from nearby stars, allowing the Genesis to travel farther and faster than any other ship in existence. And the weapons, those were unlike anything the galaxy had ever seen. Nina's design included plasma cannons that could fire bursts of energy powerful enough to vaporize entire fleets, as well as energy shields that could deflect even the most deadly projectiles. Though the work was difficult and progress was slow, Nina was driven by her vision. She knew that the success of this project could change the course of history. She was determined to prove that Earth was not a small, weak planet, but a force to be reckoned with. And every day, she took one step closer to making that dream a reality. The team faced countless obstacles. There were technical issues, financial constraints, and the constant threat of discovery. If anyone outside the project learned what Nina and her team were working on, the consequences could be disastrous. But Nina wasn't worried. She had already thought of everything. The project was kept under the strictest secrecy, with only a handful of trusted individuals knowing the full extent of what was being built. As the Genesis took shape, Nina began to feel the weight of responsibility on her shoulders. This wasn't just a ship, it was humanity's future. She knew that when the time came, the galaxy would see the ship and the child who built it, and they would have no choice but to take Earth seriously. No longer would the galaxy laugh at Earth's small, primitive ways. The time for Earth's rise had come. The day had finally come. After months of work, the Genesis was ready for its first test flight. Nina Wheeler, now a symbol of Earth's potential, stood in the control room with a team of scientists and engineers. They had spent countless hours perfecting every detail, making sure that everything was in place. The ship was unlike anything the galaxy had ever seen, and today, Nina was about to push it to its limits. The launch site was a secret, hidden deep in Earth's atmosphere to avoid detection by any outside forces. As Nina stood before the massive control panel, her heart raced with excitement. She knew that this test would be crucial. If the Genesis worked as intended, it would prove that Earth was capable of more than anyone had ever imagined. If it failed, well, Nina didn't allow herself to think about failure. She had worked too hard, and she believed in her design with all her heart. "Ready to begin, Nina?" asked Dr. Evans, the lead scientist on the project. He was an older man, his face lined with age and experience, but he had trusted Nina's vision from the very beginning. His eyes sparkled with hope, though there was a hint of nervousness in his voice. Nina nodded, her fingers hovering over the controls. "Let's do it." With a deep breath, she activated the system. The control room hummed to life as the Genesis powered up. The enormous warship, hidden under a massive cloaking shield, slowly rose from the hangar. Its sleek design, a perfect blend of Earth's technology and Nina's innovations, shimmered in the light of the distant stars. The ship's engines roared to life, and Nina felt the vibrations deep in her chest. The power was undeniable. "Commencing test flight," Nina said, her voice steady despite the excitement bubbling inside her. The ship began to move, floating slowly into the sky. The control room watched in silence, holding their breath as the ship left the Earth's surface and entered space. As the Genesis soared higher, Nina's fingers danced over the controls, adjusting the ship's trajectory with precision. She wasn't just flying the ship, she was connected to it. The AI system, designed to learn and adapt, responded instantly to her commands. The ship was already adapting, shifting, and adjusting its systems based on the changing environment. "System status," Nina asked, her voice calm but focused. "All systems are functional," replied Dr. Harris, one of the engineers monitoring the ship's systems. "Energy shields are online. Weapons systems are fully charged. The AI is processing data in real time." Nina smiled. It was working. The ship was exactly as she had imagined it, responsive, intelligent, and full of power. She decided to push the ship a little further, to see just how far the Genesis could go. "Prepare for evasive maneuver," she said, her voice sharp with determination. With a swift command, Nana guided the ship into a sharp turn, diving toward the distant moon. The ship responded immediately, banking left and right as it flew with unimaginable speed. The AI analyzed the movement and made real-time adjustments, ensuring the ship's stability. Nana could feel the ship's energy coursing through her, like it was alive, like it was part of her. But she wasn't finished yet. The next phase of the test would be the most challenging. She needed to test the ship's defensive capabilities. She had designed the Genesis to withstand attacks from even the most advanced alien weaponry, but she had never been able to test it in real combat. This was the next best thing. "Activating simulated threat," Nina announced. The computer system came alive with data as the simulation began. On the control screen, a red dot appeared, simulating an incoming enemy ship. The AI instantly identified the threat and began to calculate the best course of action. The ship's shields were activated, and its weapons systems prepared to engage. Nina's heart beat faster. She knew that the ship's AI would have to adapt quickly to the simulation, but this was different from anything it had been trained for. Would it work? Would the ship be able to outsmart the enemy? Without hesitation, the Genesis fired its plasma cannons. The powerful blasts of energy streaked across the void, hitting the simulated enemy ship. The simulation on the screen showed the enemy vessel breaking apart under the force of the attack. But it wasn't just the power of the weapons that impressed Nina. It was the way the AI had adapted. It didn't just fire randomly. It predicted the enemy's movements and adjusted the shots accordingly, hitting weak points in the simulated ship's defenses. Nina couldn't help but feel a rush of pride. The Genesis was more than just a ship. It was a reflection of Earth's strength and ingenuity. It was a testament to what humans could achieve when they set their minds to something. "Simulation complete," Dr. Harris said, his voice full of awe. The ship's response time was faster than any system we've seen before. "The AI is working perfectly." Nina sat back in her chair, a satisfied smile crossing her face. She had done it. The test had been a success. The Genesis had passed with flying colors, and Earth now had a weapon capable of standing up to the galaxy's most advanced fleets. But Nana knew that this was only the beginning. The galaxy would soon take notice. They had laughed at Earth, but now they would have to face the reality that humanity was not to be underestimated. Nina had created something that would change everything. And this was just the start. Nina Wheeler sat at the command center of the Genesis, her fingers lightly tapping the control panel as she watched the stars outside the ship's viewports. The first test had been a success beyond her wildest expectations. The ship had proven that it could handle anything she threw at it, and the AI system had shown just how far Earth's technology had come. But Nina wasn't satisfied. She knew that there were still many challenges ahead. The next phase of the plan was to reveal the Genesis to the world, and then to the galaxy. For months, the project had remained a secret, hidden from prying eyes, and anyone who might try to stop them. But now, it was time. Nina had made sure that the Genesis was perfect before showing it to the world, and her team was ready. The launch was scheduled, and the world would soon know that Earth was no longer just a small, insignificant planet. "We're ready," said Dr. Evans, standing behind Nina. His voice was filled with pride, but also a hint of apprehension. "The ship is fully operational, and the launch coordinates are set." Nina nodded, her eyes focused on the screen in front of her. The countdown had begun. She could feel the excitement building in her chest. This was it, the moment when the galaxy would learn just how powerful Earth had become. At the same time, thousands of light years away, the Galactic Council was meeting. They had no idea that the Genesis was about to reveal itself to the universe. For years, the Council had laughed at Earth, dismissing it as a weak, undeveloped planet. But their mocking would soon come to an end. The Council members were in the middle of their usual discussions when a message appeared on the main screen. It was a broadcast from Earth, a direct transmission from the command center of the Genesis. The members of the Council exchanged puzzled glances. They had no idea what to expect. A few moments later, Nina's face appeared on the screen. "This is Nina Wheeler," she said, her voice calm but filled with purpose. "I'm here to show the galaxy that Earth is no longer what you think it is. We have built a ship that no one in the galaxy can match. We are no longer a weak, insignificant planet. We are a force to be reckoned with. And I'm here to prove it." The members of the Galactic Council were silent. They had expected a typical message from Earth, something apologetic or pleading. But Nina's words were different. They were bold. They were confident. It was clear that she was not just a child. She was a leader, and Earth was no longer the punching bag of the galaxy. The transmission continued as Nina demonstrated the capabilities of the Genesis. She showed footage from the test flight, where the ship had performed flawlessly. The AI system had adapted and outsmarted simulated enemy ships with ease. Nina showed how the ship's weapons could obliterate even the most advanced defenses, how its shields could withstand the most powerful energy blasts. And then, she revealed the ship's true purpose. The Genesis was not just a weapon of destruction. It was a symbol of Earth's strength and resilience. As Nina spoke, the members of the Galactic Council began to stir. For the first time, they were seeing Earth not as a joke, but as a power to be reckoned with. They had underestimated the humans for far too long. They had laughed at them, dismissed them as inferior, but now, they were faced with undeniable proof that Earth had the potential to be a key player in the galaxy. The council members whispered among themselves, exchanging worried looks. There was no denying it. The Genesis was unlike anything they had ever seen before. Its design was innovative. Its AI system advanced beyond anything they had imagined. The humans had created something truly remarkable, and the galaxy would have to take notice. Nina finished her broadcast with a final powerful statement. "We are not asking for your approval. We are not seeking your permission. We are simply showing you that Earth is ready. We are ready to stand with you or against you. The choice is yours." The transmission ended, and the room fell silent. The council members knew that they had to respond. They could no longer ignore Earth. But what would they do? Would they welcome the humans into the fold of galactic civilization, or would they try to destroy this newfound threat? As the council members debated in hushed voices, word spread across the galaxy. News of the Genesis reached every corner of the known universe. The once dismissed humans had shown the galaxy their power, and no one could ignore them now. Back on Earth, Nina watched the stars from the command center of the Genesis. She had done it. The galaxy had taken notice. Now, Earth's future would be decided not by its weakness, but by its strength. The choice was in the hands of the Galactic Council. But no matter what happened next, Nina knew that Earth would never be the same again. The galaxy was in turmoil. For the first time in centuries, Earth had demanded the galaxy's attention, and no one was sure how to respond. News of the Genesis had spread like wildfire, sparking debates in the most powerful councils and space stations scattered across the universe. No longer could Earth be dismissed as a primitive, insignificant planet. Now, they were a force with power, a power that threatened to change everything. For Nina Wheeler, the wait was agonizing. She had made her statement, shown the galaxy what Earth was capable of, but now she had to wait for the reaction. Her hands clenched into fists as she stood in the command center of the Genesis. The ship was her greatest achievement, and now it was Earth's greatest hope. But would the galaxy accept Earth, or would they see it as a threat and try to eliminate it? "We're receiving a message from the Galactic Council," said Dr. Evans, his voice filled with both anticipation and caution. Nina took a deep breath, her heart pounding in her chest. The message was finally coming. She had no idea what to expect, but she was ready for whatever it was. The screen in front of her flickered to life, and the faces of the Galactic Council appeared. They were a mixture of leaders from across the galaxy, representatives from the most powerful and ancient species known to the stars. Some were humanoid, others entirely alien in form, but all were focused on Earth now. The Council's leader, a tall and imposing figure with silver skin and glowing eyes, spoke first. "Nina Wheeler, leader of Earth's Genesis Project," he said, his voice deep and resonant. "You have made your intentions clear, and you have demonstrated your ship's power. The question we face now is whether Earth will join the galactic community or stand apart as a rival." Nina's mind raced. This was it, the moment of truth. She had always known that Earth's future would depend on the Council's decision, but hearing it said so plainly made her realize just how much was at stake. "We have no desire to start a war," Nina replied, her voice steady despite the tension. "We are not seeking to dominate the galaxy. We only want the opportunity to be heard, to be a part of something bigger than ourselves. But we will not let anyone trample on us. We are capable of defending ourselves." The council members exchanged glances. Nina could see the hesitation in their eyes. Earth was unlike any species they had encountered. Humans were resourceful, unpredictable, and resilient. And now, with the Genesis in their hands, they were more powerful than ever. Could the galaxy truly accept them, or would they fear what Earth could become? The leader of the council spoke again, his voice carefully measured. "We are aware of Earth's potential. But potential is not enough. You must prove your commitment to peace. You must show that Earth will work within the rules of galactic law, that you will not disrupt the balance of power." Nina felt a surge of frustration, but she held it back. "We will abide by the rules," she said firmly. "But we will not be ruled by others. Earth is a free planet. We are ready to work with the galaxy, but we will not bow to it." The council leader nodded slowly. "Your answer is clear, and it is interesting. You are a young species, Nina Wheeler, but you are not like the others we have encountered. Your defiance is both your strength and your challenge. The galaxy is not easily shaped, and it does not welcome those who cannot be controlled." Nina met his gaze with confidence. "We don't want to control the galaxy. We want to be a part of it, on equal footing. If the galaxy accepts us, we will contribute. We will share our knowledge and our technologies. But we will also defend ourselves, and we will stand firm in our beliefs." The council members murmured among themselves. Some were intrigued by Nina's words, while others seemed doubtful. Finally, the leader spoke again. "Very well. We will grant Earth a provisional membership in the galactic community," he said, "but there will be conditions. Earth must prove its commitment to peace by participating in the upcoming Galactic Summit. You will present the Genesis to the galaxy's leaders. You will demonstrate that your people can work alongside others, without threatening the delicate balance we have maintained for millennia." Nina's heart skipped a beat. The Galactic Summit. This was a huge opportunity, but it also meant putting Earth's future on display for the entire galaxy to see. She knew that there would be skeptics, some who would view the Genesis as a weapon and others who would question whether Earth could truly belong in the galactic fold. "We accept your terms," Nina said, her voice resolute. "We will participate in the summit. We will show the galaxy that Earth is ready to be a part of something greater." The council leader nodded, his eyes narrowing slightly. "We shall see. Your presence at the summit will determine the future of Earth and the galaxy. The next steps are in your hands." The transmission ended, and the room fell silent. Nina exhaled slowly, her mind spinning with the weight of what had just happened. Earth had been given a chance, but it was up to them to prove themselves. The summit was their opportunity to show the galaxy that they were ready to be part of something much bigger than their home planet. "Are we really ready for this?" Dr. Evans asked, his voice quiet but filled with concern. Nina turned to face him, her expression determined. We have to be. We've come this far. Now it's time to show the galaxy what Earth is made of. The Galactic Summit was days away, and the pressure on Nina Wheeler and her team was palpable. The Genesis hovered silently in orbit around Earth, its gleaming surface reflecting the sunlight. Nina stood on the bridge, her gaze fixed on the massive ship. It was a symbol of everything humanity had worked for, but it was also a symbol of the challenge ahead. The summit would determine Earth's place in the galaxy. Nina wasn't sure what to expect. She knew the stakes were high. The galaxy's leaders would be watching closely, and one misstep could mean the end of Earth's dream of becoming part of the galactic community. But Nina was determined to succeed. She had always believed that humanity could achieve greatness. Now, she had the chance to prove it to the entire galaxy. Everything is set for the summit, Dr. Evans said, stepping up beside Nina. We've gone over the presentations, the demonstrations. The Genesis is ready. It's all up to you now. Nina nodded, her thoughts focused. We've prepared for this moment. Earth will prove we can be trusted. We won't back down. Dr. Evans gave her a reassuring smile. I believe in you, Nina. We all do. The day of the summit arrived. A massive fleet of ships, representing species from across the galaxy, had gathered in the neutral space station designated for the event. The Genesis stood out among the ships, a shining beacon of Earth's potential. Nina and her team boarded the ship and made their way to the station, where they would meet the leaders of the galaxy. As Nina stepped off the Genesis, she was greeted by representatives of the Galactic Council. Their faces were a mix of curiosity and skepticism. They had seen the demonstrations, but now they would see Earth's true capabilities in person. The summit was not just about showcasing technology. It was about showing that Earth could fit into the broader galactic family. The council leader, the tall figure with silver skin, addressed the gathered crowd. We have invited you here today to see if Earth is truly ready to join the galactic community. You have already shown us your power, but the question remains, will Earth be able to work alongside the rest of us? Will you uphold peace, or will you be a threat to our way of life? Nina stood tall as the eyes of the galaxy's leaders turned toward her. We are ready to work with the galaxy, she said, her voice steady. Earth's strength lies in our ability to adapt, to learn, and to cooperate. We are not here to dominate. We are here to contribute. We want to share what we have learned, and we want to learn from you. The council members exchanged looks. Some seemed uncertain, while others appeared intrigued by Nina's words. This was Earth's moment, and it could go either way. Nina took a deep breath and stepped forward, ready to demonstrate what Earth could do. The first demonstration was simple, showing the power of the Genesis's defensive systems. A barrage of simulated attacks was launched at the ship. With precision, the Genesis's shields absorbed the hits without faltering. The ship didn't just defend itself. It adapted, learning how to better deflect each new attack. The onlookers were impressed, but this was just the beginning. Next, Nina activated the ship's advanced AI. The AI system had learned from Earth's data and the galaxy's simulations. It responded in real time, quickly analyzing the situation and adjusting the ship's course. The demonstration showed that the Genesis could think, adapt, and respond faster than any ship the galaxy had seen before. The crowd was silent. There was no denying that Earth had developed something extraordinary, something that could challenge the status quo of the galaxy. But Nina knew that the true test would come when the time came for Earth to prove its commitment to peace. This ship is not just a weapon, Nina said, her voice carrying across the room. It is a tool for cooperation. We can use the Genesis to defend our people, yes, but we can also use it to protect others, to explore new worlds, to build alliances. The council leader, his glowing eyes studying Nina, finally spoke. Your technology is impressive, Nina Wheeler, but we still wonder, can Earth truly work within the rules of galactic peace? Can you be trusted to hold your own, while respecting the balance that has existed for eons? Nina's heart raced. The question was a simple one, but the weight of it hung in the air. This was her final test, Earth's final test. She took a deep breath and spoke with all the confidence she could muster. "Yes," she said, her voice resolute. "We can. We want to work together, to protect and to grow. Earth does not seek war or control. We seek understanding, unity, and peace. But we will defend ourselves if necessary. We will stand up for what's right." For a moment, there was only silence. Then, the council leader nodded slowly. "Earth has shown us that it is capable of much," he said. "You have passed the test of strength, but now you have shown us the strength of your conviction. We will welcome Earth into the galactic community." A wave of relief washed over Nina, and the crowd erupted into applause. Earth had done it. They had proven themselves to the galaxy, and now they would be a part of something greater than themselves. As Nina stood there, surrounded by the galaxy's leaders, she couldn't help but smile. Earth had arrived.